Hey everybody, welcome. So glad to be back in the studio with you. My name is Steve, and it's great to have you back in the studio. It's been actually probably a month or two since I've been in the studio and just decided I have to get back to it, But so glad that you are here with me again. Welcome, welcome. This is my Learn to Paint journey. It is the Paint Party live stream. A few years ago, I started teaching myself to paint here on YouTube, and this is my journey has been periodically up until now, but we're going to try to get back into it. On Monday nights, I meet you here in my home studio and do some painting with you. So I think my internet connection is running real slow. It seems a little glitchy. Is it a little glitchy with you all? But you can participate in the live stream wherever you are or whatever channel you're on via the comments. So feel free to make comments, ask questions, make suggestions as we go through the evening. Otherwise, let's jump in. And if somebody is in, if you can put in the chat if it is glitching on you. It looks like my camera is glitching. Is it glitching for you guys? I think my audio is okay. I don't know what the deal is with this. What is going on with the internet? Wonder if let's try something. Let's see. That might not work. Nope. Let me, I'll bring you back here. There we go. Oops. Can you tell I haven't done this in a while? Where is the cameras? We will see. Okay, there it is. Now let's choose HDMI, and we want to rotate. There we are. All right, and I think that this is there. Okay, this is over my right shoulder. Yes, and left. Okay, good. I think we got it. Let me set up, or let me show you what we're going to be painting. First off, welcome those of you just popping in. Has been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. I did a community program here in my town and was busy with that this spring, and just a lot of things going on. So the painting live stream has kind of gone to the side a little bit, but we are back. We are back. And there we go. We are back. Although, okay, let's see. And then what is, wait. Why am I not getting this camera on? It is on. Oh, there we are. Okay, there's my, let's do this. Let's work on this one. Where's our other second camera? And we need to rotate it. There we go. All right, that is good. That shows you kind of what I am working with on my palette. And I think that's almost my whole palette, so you can kind of see. I had used all my webcam stuff for that community event, and so all of this was not set up again. So we are running Now we're good. Okay, let me show you what we're painting. We're going to be painting these. Hey, Tanya, it's so good to see you. I hope you've been well. Miss you. Miss Arkansas a lot. I'm hoping to get back this spring or early summer. So looking forward to getting back to Little Rock. It's been a while, several months. I think I was there in September last. So I'm looking forward to getting back. All right, we are going to work on this painting. Welcome those of you just popping in. This is my Learn to Paint journey. Been working on this about, oh, there we go. Now almost 5 years. Can you guys believe it? I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, so the challenge for this painting is that number one, my dimensions are not correct or not aligned, which is my fault. And this, let's see, how do I don't know. This is very interesting. I picked this because I really wanted to see if I could figure this out. Meaning, I would love that. I would love to connect. I would love to. I am hopefully going to get back. I was hoping to get back around like in the next few weeks because you know Bob G. Bob, are you in the chat? I don't know if Bob's in the chat, but we have birthdays around the same time and we usually often celebrate together. So, but definitely want to get back. Okay, the challenge with this is figuring out how to lay out my composition. I think we're going to bring this down. I'm just using kind of a wash to try to lay out my composition since this is not this reference is just kind of a suggestion, if that makes sense. But I'm very curious. I have no idea how to really paint these. Dandelion. So this is what I'm trying to do. I want to put them in like where I want them, kind of the see if I can create this same kind of feeling. Then this one's kind of up in here. That's going to be the sunlight. It's just going to disappear into the sun. And so that's we'll see if we can do that. This would be a really cool, larger painting if I can get it to, if we can get it to do right. there, Shirley. So good to see you. I have a feeling I should have brought this up a little bit. Me too. I am interested to see the painting also because I don't exactly know how to paint this. But I think the light is interesting and I don't know really what I'm doing. I think I'm going to bring this up. I think I'm going to bring our horizon line up actually, like this a little bit. It's a better composition, I think. And especially for this, because it's not a square canvas. Bring in my, hey there, Mom. Thanks so much. Your confidence in my ability is appreciated. We'll see. We'll see. Exactly now. And so our lighter needs to come. It's come like right across there. This is the ground. Then we need our darker trees and such coming up here. There, I think that's going to be a better overall. That kind of messes up some of this though, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. And I think I'm going to put like some more, like fill this in so that I really want this bright light here to really shine. So I really want this to be the center of focus, but then have all of this kind of translucent glowing. I really want to play that up around these dandelions. So we'll have like these dandelions that disappear into here. And I'll have to probably take some of that out. That just take out some of that oil. That's all right. That's what we're doing. Okay, so now let's dial in our darks because I think that will help us. If we dial in the darks, then we will be able to key this well. So I'm going to take some blue and I'm taking a little bit of yellow. So we get kind of a dark, almost black green. Okay, there we go. Load up the brush and we want to come in Just really. We'll put in this so we want a pretty dark mass to stand, and I think I'm going to bring it up here to contrast against this really light there, really light space there. Goal is to kind of just block this in. And I'm going to keep these sides pretty dark, different than the reference, because again, I want to draw the eye right there. Y'all, I just forget how much I love this. I don't forget, but like I get distracted like we all do. And doing a million other things. And I just love painting. I just need to do more of it. Once I get these in, we'll be able to really see like what you get, the kind of the, again, the values right, then the rest will read. think what I want to do, instead of putting as much of the sky in as they do, or that the reference has, I think I want to focus on putting more, background forest, so that the light looks like it's just busting through the forest right here, and then it's shining off of these items, or these dandelions. So I want it to look pretty dense. Pretty dense, if that makes sense. And it looks, I wonder if I can, because you guys are getting a little glare on that. Well, you're getting kind of glare on here. I wonder if I can I do this? Is that any better? Not much, huh? You're still getting glare off of here that I'm not getting. Or I'm getting a little bit, but I need my lights hung up higher, but they are on stands. Someday when I have my own real studio, then I can hang the lights up in the ceiling and diffuse them a little better, maybe. But it's so much better if those of you that have watched my live stream for a while, it's so much better than it was, isn't it? Okay. I'm not sure what. There we go. Sorry about that. We can put some pretty dark layers. So I'm going in and trying to darken this, really. Because I want this layer, or this side, to be pretty dark. Over here, I'm going to do sort of the same. Give the illusion of some layers. And at the top. Okay. Now, let's look at putting in some of the, I'm going to need some, what, the sap green. All my greens, all my greens. Maybe a little bit of turquoise and maybe a little yellow. All right, we'll see. Not sure what I'm doing again, but we'll see what we're doing. Okay. Sap green. I know I definitely want some sap green, so we'll put that out on the palette. Then some phthalo green. I don't know if I want the phthalo. Phthalo's going to be super, that's going to be super intense. We'll put just, maybe just a tiny little bit there. How was everybody's weekend? Viridian. Let's see. Oh, there goes the lid of the Viridian. Okay. Where is okay. So we have phthalo green, Viridian. What I really need is a okay. The Viridian's going to be more bright green. Then phthalo's going to be a little more, and that's going to be more yellow. Okay. I just need to get clear about what colors. Oh, I love that. I had not heard that, but it makes sense because you would always make a wish and blow them, right? I like that idea. Maybe we'll call this painting the wishing flowers. They are really hopeful, aren't they? So let's not do that. What am I doing? Okay, let me take this sap green. Let's mix a little yellow. Brighten this up. We need to lighten it. And we want to put this all the way back here. Probably needs to be even lighter. But then this one I want even that. I think I want this one high up over here, maybe even a little higher than I have it. This one I really want, it's actually gonna, I want it actually more like that. And then I think I do want this one kind of more like that. And we'll have those come up in the middle. And we'll have a couple there. Paint this little edge a little bit, at least kind of block it in a little so that there's color there. Again, this paint is so thin, I'm doing almost like a wash, like it's, oh, you know what I need to do? I'm about to lose my, I always forget to plug in my phone. Like I am gonna lose that. Yeah, I was at 15%. Let's hope we can charge that. If I suddenly go dark, somebody yell at me on the Hi there, how are you? Thanks for popping in from Twitch. I appreciate it. All right. Now, the challenge we have now is how do we balance the green? I think I want to go in and put in my main bulbs, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do that with this brush. Well, actually, maybe this brush. Let's mix I think we want a little bit of a purple-ish gray is kind of what we want. Okay. No worries. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Hope you have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you. And I think we're going to, I think we want to close up this space, right? I want this to be all green. So we'll do that. Because I do want it to feel like we're basically laying down in the grass looking up at these wishing flowers. Yeah, I really like that. So we'll take, because this blue is basically, if you look very closely, this blue is the shadow side of, and that's what I think is going to be most difficult to paint, is the fact that these are, or portray, because they're not solid spheres, they're kind of fuzzy. And so indicating that without getting too accurate, you know, like too photorealist. I want that. I'm not being too precious about this about these lines on these flowers, because if the gray or if the green shows through, that's actually good, because it you know, you see through the little seed pods. But we do want to feel like there's some Soften all those edges. Kind of. All right, now what we need is I think we need kind of to go back to this a little bit. And give a that's definitely now that we have a better idea of where the flowers are, we can put in a little more of this grass color. So now what we want to do is take a little bit of this, bring a little bit of the pink into I want to give illusion that there's a little bit, it's just a little orangey, whitey, purple. And because I want to give the illusion that there's more of these out in the field. So I want those kind of pops of they need to be out of focus. Hey there, Henry. It's so good to see you. It's been a while, my friend. I hope you're well. So good to see you. Thank you for popping in to my live stream. Okay. Now, now I need to really think about this. Oh, that is not the color I want. No, no, no. I think we want to stick with the yellow ochre. That kind of warmy orange. I think that's more what we want. Hey, thanks so much. It's getting there. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go because I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but we are figuring it out. Can't wait to see you in a few short days. Really looking forward to Texas. We'll do a little bit of that. See, the trick of the illusion of light is doing these really light, tree pieces that are actually darker, but they're glowing in. So you put in that like light tone. If I put it against something dark over here, it looks really light. But if I put it against the light here, it looks dark. And so I can kind of carve out the look I want. Okay. Now, me too, my friend, me too. All right, now I need maybe I'll use this one because I don't want to go too dark, but I need like this color, I think. And I want to do right in here, we're gonna have this come up right here, and she needs to be, that's almost too dark, but it gives us we'll see. We'll see. That is that's kind of creating. Oh, please do reach out, Henry. Please reach out. If you're here, would love to catch up. um, and grab a coffee or something. So yeah, please ping me. I don't get on social very often, but I do have Facebook Messenger still activated. So yeah, shoot me a message, or if you still have my number, or shoot me a message and get my number, or whatever works for you. I would love to catch up. That would be so incredible. Would really love that. And I think I'll be here most of July, or I should be. I should be. Not sure exactly what's going on, but should be around. Wonder. Slight. So what I'm trying to do is figure out then where to put all of this. I want to keep it really light. May have to come back and do, because this needs to be light. I want it to be really light there. K-Hawk, I don't make my own panels. No, these are actually just really inexpensive ones from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, so your local craft store. Just because this size is more just like a little study to me, so I just grab whatever is cheap, that I can get in a 10-pack, if that makes sense, or a 5-pack or whatever. Yeah, definitely. Are you an artist? No, not a problem. I enjoy when people come in and chat, Henry. Don't worry. It's not a distraction at all. It actually makes my brain work out of two different sides of my head. So I appreciate it. I enjoy it. Um, it is actually very fun for me to interact. And that's part of my job. One of my jobs is a live stream seller. So I'm used to interacting with people in the middle of a live stream. Maybe going back to K-Hawk, if you're still in the chat, going back to your question, maybe as I get more proficient, I will look more into, like higher end panels, especially if I was going to paint for a commission. But on these ones, this one especially, I just wanted to figure out how to even think about potentially communicating this subject matter, because I was like, how do you paint something that's translucent, out of focus in some places, and also like capture that glow, and you know so that's why this is mostly just a little actually I want this more subdued, so let's add some of that purple back in there. It's kind of like going further out you go, the more you need. Totally understand. Yes. I would probably, if I was going to, now it depends on what level you're kind of at as far as your sales. Like if you're able to sell, paintings for 3, 4, $500, um, or more, then for sure, like invest in higher quality panels. But I think it just depends on how much demand there is for your work, and like level. I haven't honestly found that it probably, these cheaper panels probably cost me a little in brushes just because of the roughness of the panel. So I'm probably, wearing my brushes down more, but I'm just not at the level where it makes a noticeable difference, or that I have noticed a difference. So, um, yeah, that's kind of my perspective on it. Now, maybe if I like painted on some really amazing panels and, like very, very fine linen, then I would be like, oh my goodness, my paintings look so much better. And so I should at some point try, some more expensive um, panels and some more expensive materials just to see. But so far, in my experience, it hasn't been significant. Okay, with this underpainting, I'm just, again, experimenting kind of with how, because I don't really know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to put the light side, putting light on these sides of these wishing flowers, and then shadow kind of. So I have the orange and because if you look, you can't see my color wheel, but if I tilt this up, let me show you. I have my color wheel up here. So we have violet, blue on the other side of yellow, orange, and orange. And so it's natural. If you look very closely, there's kind of violet hues on the bottom, but the shadow light, if I can dial up that, dial in, saturate the orange, yellow a little more on the top, and then the purples down below or in the interior. Yeah, absolutely. Would love your perspective too, as I'm going through. Like that's one of the reasons I do this is, especially if somebody pops in who is an artist. Like I just started teaching myself a few years ago, so I don't have any illusion that I know what I'm doing. And especially in this painting, this is totally an experiment tonight. Um, but intellectually, I'm thinking about this in orange shadow, or sorry, purple shadow, um, orange highlight. That's kind of how I'm thinking of this, and mixing in kind of, it won't be exactly that because you want it to look like you're looking through the flower, so you want some shadow spots all over, but that's a little bit of how I'm thinking about this. Now, if I can go, let me take a minute and take a break from the flowers because I don't want to keep overpainting them and they need to dry anyway. But I'm going to take some darker green. I'm mixing sap and some ultramarine blue, so it's a dark green shadow again, but more green. And let's see if we can put some suggestion of color up here. Even though this is wet into wet, it's not super effective, but it will make it look more. We'll get, or maybe we'll just pull the paint off the palette or off the canvas. When you're doing wet into wet, you almost have to just apply and leave it because it has to go on pretty thick. Pretty thick. for it to cover, especially when it's but might be able to do some of this. We can come back with another layer for sure. Same here, same here. I think still lifes are such a cool thing. And I have not dived into them much at all. I've done a few, like some fruit or some bowls or that type of thing. Because when I started, I just started painting whatever subject struck my fancy. That I belonged to a Facebook group of photographers who would allow artists, visual artists, to use their images as reference. So I would just look for cool references that I wanted to paint. And so I did a few still lifes. I did one of like a ram skull that was really cool several years ago. Ended up selling that one, but it was mostly just to, like you said, have fun. And for me, this is mostly to have fun and to learn. But I'm kind of at the point where I realize I need to learn more directly. Like I need to be more intentional with the learning, if that makes sense. So yeah. Okay, let's come down here and darken some of this grass too and put in some texture in the grass. I don't think this needs to be anything more than something like that. Just a little suggestion of varied direction. I don't want to get too specific on the grass here. Okay, Hawk, do you put any of your art out on Instagram? If so, throw that in the chat if you don't mind. I would love to see your work. Or you can follow me at Steven with a V-E Rice on Instagram, and I'll find you. I don't get on Instagram often other than to post my art or see other art, but it's become almost essential, hasn't it? Depends on what you're trying to do with your art, though. How are you doing through Windows? I am working on a Mac environment, and so I use a software called Ecamm. But you could also do this in a Windows environment with software called OBS. And then I link it to a site called restream.io. So basically, I take those three feeds in Ecamm. That's how I do it, and then I send that full feed to Restream, and that streams it out to YouTube and Facebook and Twitch, etc. But if you just wanted to do like on YouTube, you could go direct from OBS um, to or Ecamm direct to YouTube probably. So, yeah, that's how I'm doing it, if that makes sense. It sounds more complex than it is. That's why. Um, or you could use, I think also there's a streaming service called StreamYard. I have not used StreamYard, but I think it is, from what I've seen, it's super intuitive. So if I had started with StreamYard, I would probably just continue with that. And then I literally have like $40, $50 webcams that I have. Well, the one that just went out that's on my camera. This is my phone. The one that's pointed here is from my phone. And then I have a webcam that is a Logitech webcam that's here over my palette on a little extender arm. And then the static image that of the reference is just an image that I imported into Ecamm, and I just put that there. So I basically have one live camera here and one live camera here. But yeah, at the end of the stream, which is in about 30, 40 minutes, I'll kind of show my setup if you'd like. I'm happy to show that. Not a big secret. Happy to show it. If anybody would like to see, and maybe some of you that aren't streaming or artists would be interested as well. Happy to do that. Now I'm just going to go in and put some more defined, basically I'm just almost sculpting right now. I need to even out this bottom edge that sits in this lip a little bit because it looks a little weird. There we go. Okay, we'll put it back there. Now, can we essentially, can I carve out where the basically create a negative space where the stem of this flower is? I think I can. We'll do the same with these. I do tech videos under K-Hawk and art under a different channel. Kevin Hawkins art. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'll show it. I'll show my setup in just a minute and you can feel free to. But yeah, yeah, especially if you're tech inclined already, not yeah, grab OBS if you're in a Windows environment or a PC environment or Ecamm or StreamYard for either. Ecamm is only, as far as I know, it's only Mac environment, but I have been pleased with it and it's really simple to use, so I've just kind of stayed with it. I thought of switching to StreamYard because I think it's a little more intuitive from what I've seen, but like now that I know Ecamm, I'm like, I think the ROI to set it all up and get it going would not necessarily be, I don't know that there'd be it would take just as long to learn a new software as to just deal with the one I got. So that's what I've done. I don't know why my phone keeps glitching out. It's driving me a little crazy. Little frustrating. I really like a good dark corner. So I'm going to do some more of that there. See if we can. I'll definitely have to come back and do another layer on this. But I love this idea. And I may do a full-size painting of this just because I think it's so interesting and it's so pretty. And because I want to. So there's that. Because I think if I worked this a little bit and got the dimensions and proportions better lined, like I may take it into a digital environment and do some sketches, I think it would be really cool. Like that idea of looking up through the grass is really interesting to me. Thanks. Yeah, I think that is like the perspective is, plus the light contrast is what's interesting most to me about this subject. Now I just got to find time to come back and do some more work with this. Oh, that's awful. I just messed that up. Just messed that up. Don't do that, kids. Don't do what Steve just did. Let's do some more. We'll see if we can. I think this works for the most part. Some of the values are a little wonky, but it's easier for me to, like, I think this is now much too dark for what it is, but maybe not. Um, yeah, that is kind of what I'm going for. I wanted to kind of emphasize that so they look like they're kind of glowing, because it's there in the reference. It's just not as pronounced, but because this is a painting, I can do what I want. And I kind of I want that feeling of, yeah, that there is that, yeah, like you said, an aura. Now, but let me go in and take some of this and some of this and see if I can draw in some additional like detail. Then I can go here. Let's do a light super light green. But I think what I need is a little lemon. I think. We'll see if that's what I need. I don't paint a lot with these colors, and so usually I mix my own greens, but this has such unique greens that I'm not sure. Actually, I think a little turquoise. Did I put turquoise out here? I didn't. I think turquoise would give me what I want because it's more turquoise will give you a little tiny bit of turquoise will give you a almost like a neon green. So it's great for painting like Caribbean Sea or really oversaturated flowers or greens. But that's not really what I want it light. But I don't want it ridiculous. So let's see. Oh, that might work. This color. Let's put this up here and see what we can create. It will be enough contrast. We just need enough contrast to see that the light is catching this in different ways. That it's catching it a little bit there, a little bit down here. Yeah, that'll work. I think that works. Tiny little bit. By putting this is something I had forgotten, but by putting this up in the sky a little bit, I forgot that I put a flower up there. It helps us to see that, oh, we're down in the down on the ground, basically. I'll probably have to do some refining of this, but that gives us the idea. Again, I want these really out of focus the further back they go, because I want this to feel like it's, of course, the yeah, I'm happy to share it. Yeah, just ping me on Instagram or something, and I'll, if you have Instagram, I don't know. You said you, I think you said, is it Kevin Hawk Inzart. Is that your Instagram as well, or just YouTube? Okay. Giving it kind of a warm tint too. I brought in a little bit of burnt sienna to warm it up a little bit. So we have the yellow underneath, and then we have the little bit of this red peeking out. We'll see. Hopefully that gives us some additional luminosity and gives us the feeling of shape. Sort of, maybe. Maybe. These shapes are a little wonky, so I'm just trying to they're not perfect spheres in nature, but I'm trying to soften the edges wherever I can. There we go. Kind of like it. Now, I want to take a little bit of this up into here, see if I can. That doesn't really work, does it? I may have to come back when I do another layer. This needs to be, in order for that to work, this tree brush needs to Too saturated, I think. Thing is, if I get the idea right, I can always adjust it. Yeah, you're getting a lot of glare on that, aren't you? Wonder if I can adjust this a little bit. No, it's just, why am I getting so much glare on that? My lights are pretty diffused. I wonder if I can bring down. No, the camera wants to adjust the. It's this light above me that is wanting to there, maybe. It still gives a little glare, doesn't it? I will have to work on this. It's really because nope, there. My light above me is not, it's not not high enough, I think. All right, well, bummer. Bummer. That's okay. This is a first pass and not too bad for what I'm trying to do. Makes me happy. have to work on this a little bit on the second pass because I'm not sure exactly how to. What I want is some, well, maybe what I need is some grays. Is that what I need? Some gray? It's hard for you all to see because all you get is that glare. I don't know how to change that. I need to get in here and mess with my lights a little bit, I think. But I think we're getting close to as far as we can go with this one for now, since it's wet into wet and is pretty much, but I'm pleased with where it's going. Now our value in the sky is really abrupt. So maybe I can adjust that with little lemon. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's always appreciated or good to have other artists in the chat because obviously everybody has different perspectives and skills, and so It's really good to get an objective perspective. So I appreciate you popping in and right now I was just working on the kind of shape of this light spot. Because if I get it, then I can come back and kind of repurpose. Okay, let's come in one last pass because we walked away from it quite a while ago. And I think we need a little, this kind of gray. I want to come back and do some shadow work in these wishing flowers, because that is going to give us our shape, and it's also going to help emphasize the glow. That's one of the things I'm constantly trying to remind myself. The shadow is where the glow happens, not in the shadow values are the power, not necessarily the light values, because we all want to go to the lights, that vibrant, incredible glow, but it's the contrast that allows it to glow. So it's always that balance, isn't it? Yes. Yes, Steve, it is. The chat says. Steve says, yes, you're right. they look too round? Now I can tell I need to walk away for a bit because I'm starting to overpaint stuff. So I think I will. Think I will. I like this for a first pass. I like it for a first pass. And we're coming to the end of our time. I think I'll stop a few minutes early, but now this next Monday, I will be out of town. So I won't be here Monday, but I will definitely be here. Try to get back in the studio consistently in the next few weeks. So you can find upcoming shows on YouTube. They are dated out, so you can definitely dial in for those. All right, let me come over here, and I'm going to bring you back here to center, and let's turn this around. I'll say a proper good evening. Oh, let me show you, actually. I don't mean to make anybody sick, but this is my setup. So I have the camera over my palette here, my workstation, and that is just on an arm like this. And then I have this camera that I was just looking into here. They're just two webcams. And then the camera you're looking through is my phone camera. So that's kind of how I have that set up, if that's interesting at all to anyone. And then I have some just studio lights. So that is my setup. And then you guys get to see, let me actually bring you back here. Nope, to there. I'll bring you back here because I don't really want to make you all sick. I will say good night. But yeah, then you see my messy attic space, but it works. All that's got to be pretty is kind of the painting space. All right, let me come back here. All right. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Let me adjust that. And this is what we did tonight, at least the start of it. Pretty happy. I'm going to get back in here and kind of work out these lights and the glare on this. I am not happy with that, but I want to say thank you for joining me. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram, Stephen E. Rice, E and then RICE, V, Stephen with a V. And of course, you can join me every Monday evening, or typically every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube and Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever. But yeah, glad to have you. Thanks so much for those of you that joined, getting back into the studio. Again, it's been several weeks off, couple months off, but I'm glad to be back in studio with you and look forward to, again, not this next Monday, but the following Monday, I should be back in studio. So looking forward to seeing you then. Until then, have a great couple of weeks and we will see you again soon. Good night, everybody, and take care.